everybody, and welcome to Digital Champions. I'm your host, Charlene Shirk, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us today is Becca Cooper with ShuBu Creative. Becca, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Charlene. I'm excited to be here.
I want to answer the phone at your company because ShuBu Creative just sounds like so much fun. Like you have so much fun over there doing your creating. Tell us about what you do.
Yes, we do. And ShuBu Creative, I know it's a different name that I wanted it to stand out and be part of my story. So ShuBu Creative is a branding agency, and we create brands with purpose and impact. And I am a brand strategist and expert and have been doing this for many years for many different people and companies. And I really focus on making companies stand out to really truly find what makes them unique. And ShuBu Creative is actually my kids' nicknames, Shushu and Boo Boo.
Oh, I love it.
That's where it comes from.
But you know, that's so important because people want to know about the people behind and the why behind so many businesses. So you just encapsulate as a perfect example. That's the name of my company. It sounds fun, but it has a personal connection to who I am and what I do. Let's talk a little bit about your whole thing is about finding some originality in your clients' content and in their brand. Talk to me about how you achieve that for them, because everybody wants to stand out, right? But what's your philosophy behind making that happen?
Exactly. It's a philosophy to make sure that it's a brand that has purpose and impact, but it's also how we do it at ShuBu Creative, and it comes from years of experience. But the way that we're doing it is we really look inside and outside. I call it like the inside outside approach, and we interview customers, and we interview stakeholders, and we interview donors and investors, whoever's really close to your brand, but is from the outside perspective of your brand. And then on the other side, I talk to the people who are behind it, the core stakeholders, and talk to the owner and CEOs and the C-suite of what's the story behind the brand. I really want to get deep into the why and the purpose, and I take those two things together, and we merge them to find that standout gap, that main thing that makes you and your company and your story unique. So it's just kind of taking that outside and that inside approach and merging the two. And it's using qualitative and quantitative data.
And telling that story has to be now compressed into, 15-second videos now.
Yeah.
Everything's about video and it's visual and nobody wants to read anymore. And so now it's really having to focus that message into 15 seconds of somebody's attention span. How do you achieve that? And where else do you see this kind of storytelling going down the road in the next few years in the digital space?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's so important. Less is more. And it's more about quality content, short content. It's really like snackable content. You've probably heard that. And it's really about getting that story out in a way that is super impactful and simple. And it's cutting it down. So when we are looking at the brand from all those different perspectives, it's finding themes and what are those top themes, and then really saying what is the main thing. And my company name in Japanese means the main thing. And so that was kind of, I kind of stumbled upon that when I named my company, but it's so true. It's like figuring out the main thing of what your company stands for, what you stand for as a person, and narrowing that down to one main theme. And yes, there are other opportunities to talk about different things in your brand in different layers. But when it really bubbles up to that one main brand statement, what is that? And kind of standing on that and telling that story in all the different channels and all the different ways that you can do that.
And really investing in that. So what is your favorite platform then for getting that one main theme out there?
Well, right now I do think that, and as we know, social media is just where everyone is. We're living in social media, and a couple analogies, but one is like, do you remember we used to like live in our email, but now everyone is just on social. They're scrolling up and down. So I think that is the main place to get your message out, to get your brand out there. I think there's several and many other places as well to do that, and I would say do them all, but social is kind of where it's at. And then another place is that it's really if you think about how TV used to be and how much investment was put into these 15-second commercials, And that is really where we are seeing this going now, is just how much value and how much investment social media really does have for you to get your brand story out there and what you stand for. And so I think there's just so much emphasis being put on, and that's where it's going, is into these short snippet spots or these short snippet places to tell your story.
Like a Super Bowl commercial. Well, Becca, thanks so much for joining
Mhm.
us today. You dropped a lot of knowledge on us today, and we appreciate it. It's all good stuff. Thanks for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. Know your theme. Well, that was Becca Cooper with ShuBu Creative, and you'd like to learn more about what she's doing over there at ShuBu Creative, you can check her out at dailyadbrief.com. Well, that's going to do it for us on Digital Champions. I'm your host, Charlene Shirk, and we'll learn something new with you next time.